Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and we got some Jakobi Meyers trade rumors that we got to discuss from ESPN NFL Insider Adam Schefter. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to tell you why the Raiders could end up trading number 16. I'm also going to tell you whether I think it could or could not happen, and I will give you the number that I believe it will cost in a trade for Jakobi Meyers. Then, I have seen 6 weeks of Raiders football. There is a player that gets the start every single week. I'm done with it. Can't start him anymore. It's Chiefs week, which means you got to switch it up a little bit. I cannot stand it. I thought that maybe this was a move that could potentially work out. After 6 weeks, it is so clearly not working that it is time to bench this player and start somebody else. Also, we will do a Tuna's Top 5 and a little bit of a duck race today, and I hope that we get better participation today. I want the hashtag Raiders questions. I want Raider Nation to show up, be ready to go every single time we go live here on the program. And if you do not know, the Raiders did end up signing McClendon Curtis to their practice squad, and they just released Brad Robbins, who they had on the team. But it's Chiefs week, yo.
FKC.
I know how frustrating this season has been.
FKC.
But we can beat Kansas City.
FKC.
And if we do beat the Chiefs,
FKC.
you might be able to forgive the entire season.
FKC.
Give me some FKCs
FKC.
down below.
FKC. FKC.
I see
FKC.
Richie
FKC. Let's go.
Robert Escobar, Joe Gunn, Danny G, Yoda Jenkins here in the building. If you want a shout out here on the Raiders Report, give me an FKC down below, because it's Chiefs week.
All my homies hate the Chiefs.
It just means a little bit more. It means a little bit different. And I remember, a few weeks ago, we sat up here. It was Thursday Night Football. And we were like, there's no way the New York Giants can beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And we left that game. We're like, man, I got like a little bit of hope here. And you should have a little bit of hope. All I need is the Raiders to play their A-plus game, and Kansas City's got to bring that C game. If you do it, you got a shot to win. And you call me crazy, I'll say just call me a Raider fan. But it's Chiefs week, and I want to go balls to the wall today. I want to go balls to the wall all week. And if we find a way to win, 3 and 4's never tasted so good.
That wall, Mitch's balls.
Do we got a window in here? I don't even think we do. What up, Real Cowboy? I love Jakobi's commitment, but the Raiders are basically in a rebuild as long as Geno is playing. Trade him, get the best value you can for the future. Hate to see him go, but it's reality. And I hear what you're saying here. I do think, though, that there is a very important thing that Raiders fans and honestly a lot of NFL fans really need to think about now with the new comp rules that are, kind of allocated to teams that don't bring back certain players that go out and sign big-time deals with other people. That's going to be one of the things that I talk about a little bit here on the Raiders Report, because I hear you loud and clear. I do think the Raiders are in a rebuild. I don't really know if Jakobi Meyers is going to come back, but that doesn't mean that you just sell him for anything, because you might be able to keep Jakobi on your team. He hits the open market, and you could actually get a higher draft pick than if you were to just trade him for literally anything. And we'll talk about that a little bit coming up here on today's program. But if you haven't already voted, keep or trade Jakobi Meyers, what do you think the Raiders are going to do? If the Raiders keep losing, there's going to be more and more players that are connected to trade rumors. If the Raiders get to the winning side of it, who knows? Maybe they will be buyers instead of sellers at the deadline. If you guys do not know what our Super Chat menu is today, I decided to mix it up here a little bit. If you want a chance to win a signed Raiders jersey, $5 Super Chat, you get one raffle ticket. If you want the opportunity to put some money in your pocket, $20 Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365, which I just saw right now, Noah Santana, you in, and all Noah's Venmo to me says dicks.
Nice.
I think you meant you. I think you meant the you there, Noah, but it's okay, my man. You in the duck race. If you're going to throw up an alley-oop, This is how we're going to do today's show. We typically don't do a lot of the alley-ooping unless it's Thursday night, unless it is, a Raiders game day. If we get an alley-oop and somebody throws it down, that counts as a bang. If somebody throws in a $100 super chat, you already know that's a bang. If we get 3 bangs today, I'm starting off our Thursday Night Football show with a boot. And if anybody wants a Raiders Report hat, we typically give them away for $101 on Venmo. Today, I'm going to do a deal for Rebel Montana. If you want a Raiders Report hat, Venmo me $69. I need your first name, your last name, and your shipping address.
Since we already talked about it,
let's keep it going. Give me a yes, give me a no. Will Jakobi Meyers get traded this season? And if you're just tuning in and you're going, Mitch, man, why are we talking so much about trading Jakobi? It's because of a report from ESPN's NFL Insider Adam Schefter. And, Schefter's just one of those guys that when he says something, the entire NFL world should listen. I'll admit, he was really wrong yesterday where he was asked on TV, they're like, do you think, anybody's going to get fired? He's like, no, I don't think that Bill Callahan's going to get fired. 20 minutes later, he ends up getting fired. So just because Schefter says something does not mean that it's the all-end be-all. We know that. You know that, right? But I do think this, if Schefter's putting it out there and Jakobi's already requested a trade earlier this offseason, sure, the Raiders declined it, but I said it last week. I said it the week before that. The number one player most likely to be traded on the Raiders as it stands right now, is Jakobi Meyers. Can that change? Absolutely. The NFL trade deadline, deadlines make deals, okay? So because we know that deadlines make deals.
It's November 4th, right after Week 9.
Yep. So that's a Tuesday. It's November 4th. It's a Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time is the NFL trade deadline. So, we'll be sitting up here counting down the hours until that deal ends up going down. But will Jakobi Meyers get traded this year? Give me a yes. Give me a no. Luda, no. Darien, no. Derwin Alexander, FKC, absolutely love it. Daddy, let's go, baby. What's up, Kenneth Phelps? Stabler for president says yes. Safrino Reyes says Jakobi is not a diva and true Raider. I think that he is a true Raider. Jeff Garcia's going to go with a no. Yoda Jenkins says it's likely.
Props to Jakobi. He didn't miss any practices this offseason with all this BS going around.
Yep.
There wasn't a holdout. There wasn't a hold in. It wasn't a leave it in. None of that. Jakobi was a, upstanding member of the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason.
I mean, Jakobi Meyers, in a position filled with divas, I think does everything that you ask a true professional to do. Show up and go to work. And that's just something that you don't see in today's day and age of professional sports. And, he shows up and he goes to work. And he does a pretty damn good job of it. I know he hasn't been involved in the offense as much as maybe what he was last season, but I think that's also a Geno Smith and Chip Kelly issue. Let's go to the Suave. My bad. Honest mistake. No, it kind of reminded me of, I have all of my Venmo stuff locked now in terms you can't see what people say to me, but it just reminded me when I was younger, when I first got Venmo. And anytime, my buddies, especially in college, were they request money, you would send them, the most ridiculous comment, for your nipple piercing.
Pubes.
Yeah. I know you love pubes. $20, right?
Your mom texts you, Mitch, did you spend $130 on pubes last week?
Not again.
Not again.
All I see is from Santana Suave, Dickies. $20. What up, Bay Raider? Mitch, we were messaging yesterday, and you told me to ask you to show me the 24 Gonzalez jersey. Yeah, I got you. Hang on a second, Chuck. Just literally give me 10 seconds.
Yep. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5. All right. This is me asking a question to Stahl. Better series, Mariners versus Blue Jays or Dodgers Brewers? What's the better series? Let me know down in the comment section. Or type I hate baseball. Because I think there's a lot of those in here too. So let me know. Better series or who you rooting for? Are you going for the Dodgers to win it all? Mariners maybe? We got a bunch of Mariners fans in at Chat Sports. I see a lot of Doyers. 1.5. 1-0. 10 seconds.
Sorry, I couldn't find it, but to Bay Raider, he's like, hey, man, I want a jersey week 1. I still haven't gotten it yet. I spelled your name wrong. So it's Gonzalez with an S. We ordered it with a Z. I promise you, if you win something and you don't get it, don't be afraid to say something to me. I love how you messaged me on Instagram and you were like, hey, man, I didn't want to call you out on the show. Again, I don't mind when people do, and I don't even look at it as calling me out. It's like if you want something, like, tell me, right? And that's kind of how I want it to be. So I was like, hey, send me a reminder. But
we got him a new one, though, right?
Yeah, we ordered him a new one. It just hasn't come in yet. I want you to know that we did order a Gonzalez 24 Raiders jersey custom. But it just...
Do we raffle that one off today?
Hey.
$1 to get in.
Hey, maybe, right? Maybe.
Would y'all want to raffle that Gonzalez spelled wrong jersey today?
Is anybody here with the last name Gonzalez with a Z? Let's get it going.
Or you could just be like, dude, it's a retro player. You don't know.
True. I mean, I'll say this. It's number 24. I see a Raiders 24 jersey, and I instantly am like, that's a legendary jersey.
And you know what? Whenever I see Fabian Moreno, I'm like, that's a legendary guy.
FKC Fabian! He's going to throw it up! Kobe looking! See Shaq! Yoda Jenkins! Bang! Yoda from the Night Devil! That's one bang. That means we need 2 more, and we're starting off Thursday Night Football with a boot. And I'm telling you this right now, the Thursday Night Football deals I'm going to give you this Thursday for Chiefs Week, the best deals you might get all season long on a Thursday night. Let's go to Garth. What up, Garth? I believe Jakobi is ready to move on. This dude has performed for the Raiders since wearing the uniform, and this organization needs to sign him now. I mean, the problem is you look at where the Raiders stand right now, and I think Jakobi is a really good wide receiver. Maybe he's not the exact fit that we thought that we were gonna have with this new offense with Chip Kelly. I'm not exactly sure, because I'll say this: you look at the way Geno Smith was used last year in Seattle, and his safety blanket was Jackson Smith and Jigba, who right now looks like one of the best receivers in the National Football League, and that's kind of the role that I thought Jakobi was going to play in this offense for Geno Smith. It's just quite, hasn't really been the case. Jakobi, 3 straight games under 40 receiving yards and 3 straight games with only 4 catches. When you also look at a lot of the interceptions that are on tape for Geno might not admit it, but he's targeting Jakobi in a lot of those. So I do wonder if teams see something, if Geno also knows that he's trying to stay away from that. But I sat up here earlier this offseason. I said the Raiders should give a contract extension to Jakobi Meyers, and they should. Now, though, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't actually know if it makes a lot of sense. And I'm saying that because he was looking for $22, $23 million per year. With where the Raiders are at right now, you can't give a wide receiver $23 million per year unless you have a franchise quarterback. And quite frankly, I don't think that the Raiders have a franchise quarterback right now. I don't even think the Raiders think that they do, based on what they did with Geno this past week, trying to hide him in that Tennessee Titans game. You kind of fall right back into the same trap that we did with Devontae Adams. I'm not saying Jakobi is Devontae Adams, but Devontae Adams is a hell of a receiver. If you don't got anybody to throw to him, don't pay him. And right now you're looking at Jakobi Meyers, and I'm going, I don't really think we have anybody that I could trust to throw Jakobi Meyers the football. So for that reason, I don't know if it makes sense to honestly extend him. If I'm the Raiders, you let him hit the open market, and he signs somewhere else, which means you get a comp pick. Depending on how high that draft, or depending on how much he gets signed for, I think it's going to be around a 4th-round pick. 4th-round comp pick for Jakobi Meyers sounds pretty damn good to me. Yoda Jenkins! Special teams improved on Sunday. Tom McMahon must have seen Mitch's Friday video about people getting fired. And, I mean, let's call it how it was, right? The Tennessee Titans fired their head coach, Brian Callahan. Why? Because of how bad things were. And, even you hear a guy like Jeffrey Simmons after the game talk about, he was like, I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something along the lines. He was like, it was the worst week of practice we've had.
Yeah, he was like, it starts early in the week, and I could tell this was the worst week of practice we've had all year.
Right, so that's the Tennessee Titans saying that this was one of the worst week of practices we've had all year. The Raiders still, had themselves in a battle week 6 against the Titans, and then their head coach ended up getting fired. It's just one of those games where two bad teams. The Raiders are a bad team. The Titans are a bad team. When two bad teams go up against each other, typically somebody gets fired, and I was happy it happened on the Titans side of it. I'm not saying I'm happy that Callahan got fired. I'm just happy that the Raiders were able to get a win. But if the Silver and Black would have lost that football game, the blame game would have started to happen. Pete Carroll's already proven that the blame game is not going to go to Geno Smith. It's not going to go to Chip Kelly. It's not going to go to Patrick Graham. So who does it go to? It goes to Tom McMahon. But just like, we called out Brennan Carroll earlier in the year, corrections were made. The offensive line played better, and the offensive line has been better. Tom McMahon, you call for him a little bit. Bachman gets some more work. Special teams tackling looks a little bit better. I think that people think that I just love to bitch and moan. Don't get me wrong. I'm good at it. It's because I do it all the time because I cover the Raiders. But at the exact same time, sometimes you just got to light a little bit of fire underneath somebody's butt. And if you can light a fire underneath somebody's butt and they still don't respond to it, then that means that they probably don't give a shit. And we say all the time here at Chat Sports, it's about giving a shit. If you don't give a shit, it's probably not going to be a good product. Suave, if I leave it in, LOL Chugs, you're wild. Chugs is wilding out, man. Wilding out. Giuseppe, the winner of our duck race yesterday. What's up, brother? Watching the show with my son. Can I get a shout out to my son, JoJo? And it's always FKC. All right, that's what we're going to do. I need the entire nation to spam JoJo down below. Whoever spams JoJo down below the most, I'm going to give you a free raffle entry for a shot to win a signed Raiders jersey. Shout out to JoJo. And JoJo, can I get a Raiders? Come on, JoJo. Come on, JoJo. JoJo Seppi. What's up, JoJo? I see Michael, Mark Prosser,
hey, JoJo.
Mike Nintendo Master, Bout 76.
JoJo, this is for you. 6'7", right? Right? Am I right?
Maybe, probably. Also,
JoJo's at home like.
What is this?
That Cam Ward does that, and it's like basically like, you stink.
You stink?
Yeah.
But now everyone does it, though.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Everyone does it now.
It's like the whip and nay-nay.
Now watch me whip. What? Watch me nay-nay.
Yeah, it's like everybody celebrated with that for like a year. Last year it was, still kind of is.
We should just find the oldest, dances that people do. And we should just be like, all right, could Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco do these dances at 40 years old, Thursday Night Football? And let's just do all the dances. Let's just try to do the worm.
I'm going to go with Roy Leos.
Roy Leos. You got it. Roy Leos. You got it. Speaking of gotten it, we got right now over 700 Raiders fans here in the building. If you haven't already, make sure you click that like button. And if you haven't already, if you're trying to win a little bit of money today, and if you want to race your dicks up against Noah Santana, get your dickies in right now. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. I mean, you don't want Noah racing his dicks by himself. Mm-hmm. That seems kind of weird. So I don't want Noah to race his dicks by himself. You don't want Noah to race his dicks by himself. So let's get this dicks race going here a little bit. If you're ready to get the first segment underway, hit that like button right now, because the first show that we got coming up here is a report from ESPN's NFL Insider Adam Schefter around trade candidates, and he mentions Jakobi Meyers.
700 people watching.
Come on.
184 likes.
Come on. How is that possible?
I have no idea how it is.
How? Are you saying how or pow?
Go to drinkhowwater.com. Use code ChatSports. 10% off.
How? Pow. How? Pow.
Are you
Kane!
Saying, are you saying pow?
Or are you saying how?
How?
I think I can help with this pow-how dilemma. I'm Jason, King Sanchez, Dwayne Alexander. Thank y'all. Santana. I wouldn't mind a hand. 2? Maybe. I don't know. Kane Michael, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much for supporting the show. You've been one of the realists this entire year, man. You know, like, I think one of my favorite parts of every single Raiders season is you get to meet new people. You also get to see some of the older faces, but, you know, like this season especially, like Kane Michael B., love him. Patrick Roche, I haven't seen him in like a month. I hope that you're okay, Patrick. You know, but Patrick Roche has been going crazy. Fabian Moreno, you know, we found him earlier this offseason, but yeah, it's really cool to see the Raiders Report family grow every single year. You meet new people, you meet new faces, and then you also get some of your OGs that come back, like a Zalesbo, like Ron Raspberry, like Robert Jansen, a Rebel Montana. So it means a lot to me. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that take time out of your day to watch this program. So let's get into the very first segment here on today's program. And right now, I just saw Fabian said, don't worry, I'll get in that duck race with you. So we're going to get into this first video around Adam Schefter and the trade rumors regarding Jakobi Meyers. I'll also try to illustrate what I think a trade is going to cost. I'll talk about some of the teams that could potentially be interested. But also, you know, we got to look at other players that Schefter talks about in terms that could be traded. This is not just going to be me talking about trading away Jakobi Meyers. This is going to be Schefter dropped a list of names, and there's a lot of names. And if Schefter's throwing those names out, it means he's hearing something, which means could the Raiders potentially go out and get one of those players? I don't know if we're going to be buyers. We're probably going to be a seller if we are one of those two options. But at the same time, a win against Kansas City, anything is possible. Like, if the Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs, there's a chance they're buyers.
And
there is. If they lose, probably not, right? Probably not. But if they do win, you got to think that they might be buyers.
My stuff is rebooting, so I am going to fill the void with one more question.
The Raiders need to score blank points to beat the Chiefs this week in Week 7 action. I mean, my number that I have been going with all season long here for the Silver and Black has been 24 points because, you know, their defense has played well. I don't know if 24 is going to be enough to win against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I don't know. I want to believe that it is, but I also am like, can we get to 30 points? I don't think that we can get to 30 points, if I'm being honest with y'all. I'm probably going to go 24, and I'm going to sit with that 24 number, and you're just got to hope that 24 means 3 touchdowns, a field goal. Maybe it means 3 touchdowns and some 2 extra points in there. But we got to convert in the red zone. If we don't get 24, I don't think that you're going to do something for me.
That's the magic number.
Yeah, 24 seems like it's got to be the number. I see Rich says 42. Dwayne Alexander is going to go with a 25. Steven Gutierrez still spamming AOC. AOC status, he is still on IR. So until he comes off of IR, he's going to be on IR. He cannot play on IR. I mean, I would say the earliest we see AOC back is going to be after the bye. And, you know, typically a lot of teams like to hold certain players out until after the bye, make sure they're 100% rested. But when AOC does come back, you know, I'm almost wondering, does Lonnie Johnson Jr. also come back here? Because we need extra help in that secondary. Again, even if AOC comes back, he's not going to play. I know that. I know some of y'all wanting to see him there, but it's probably not going to happen. But 24 points is the number I'm going to go with there.
Shout out to Kane.
Kane Michael B., appreciate you. Santana Suave, wouldn't mind an extra hand.
Huh. We know you would.
Giggity.
All right. We are ready now to start our first segment on today's program.
First segment going to be going down here on the Raiders Report. As a friendly reminder, we are 2 bangs or 2 alley-oops away from me starting off Thursday night show with a boot. And that's going to be something we're going to try to do more going forward where, you know, I always want to give you guys something to strive for. I also want people that watch Thursday night to be like, holy shit, that was a shit show. And, you know, last week I don't feel like it got as crazy as what I was hoping for. I think, you know, I didn't get as crazy as what a few people were hoping for. It's going to get crazy this Thursday. That I promise you. It's It's going to get really crazy this Thursday. Probably the craziest Thursday we've done in a long, long time. To Ox the Box, I see you. I will get to that after the first segment here on the show.
Just a quick reminder, Coldy.
Oh, okay. I got you. Let me get to where I need to go. All right. I am ready to rock. Are y'all ready to rock out? Coming up, let's talk about the Jakobi Meyers trade rumors because ESPN NFL Insider Adam Schefter has got some juiciness around the Raiders and Jakobi. Raider Nation is family, and I'm going to continue to try to grow the family we have here on the Raiders Report. We need 129 more subs to reach 206,000. If you love free Raiders videos every day and you bleed silver and black, join the fam, hit that subscribe button. Major Raiders trade rumors from ESPN NFL Insider Adam Schefter coming at you today on the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz, and according to Adam Schefter, sources expect an active NFL trade market ahead of the deadline. Schefter went ahead and he listed 33 different NFL players as potential trade candidates. He listed only one Raider, and that one Raider was Jakobi Meyers. So we're going to talk about the rumors around Jakobi. And if you're sitting up here going, Mitch, trades, they never happen. We always talk about trades. Well, that's not true. There's been a lot of trades already this NFL season, and there's been a lot of trades around the NFL trade deadline, which is going to be November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and deadlines, they make deals. Here's what Schefter had to say. Over the past 6 years, in the month of October, leading up to the trade deadline, the NFL has had 88 trades, an average of just under 15 per year. So the one player that Schefter notes that could be dealt from the silver and black was Jakobi Meyers. And the only Raider featured in his entire article, which was only talking about trade candidates, was Jakobi. A statement that I made earlier this week, a statement that I made earlier this offseason, the statement that I made earlier this season. The number one player that could get traded on the Las Vegas Raiders is number 16, and it's Jakobi Meyers. And the reason why that I'm saying that is because you got to look at where the Raiders are at right now. You're a 2-4 football team, and you're not a good 2-4 football team. I've done this show for a really, really long time, and I would say this, and I think Chugs would probably back me up on it. The most depressed I've ever seen Raider Nation after a win was the Raiders' win against the Tennessee Titans. And what do I mean by that? Nobody believes in this Raiders team this season. Nobody believes in what Pete Carroll is doing. And I know there's also, some players in that locker room that are starting to wonder what this coaching staff is doing. With a 2-4 team, it does make more sense to be sellers instead of buyers. But a win against Kansas City, and that can change quickly. Let's go to the next reason here of why Jakobi could be traded. How many of y'all forgot that he literally asked to be traded earlier this offseason, right before the season gets going? Now, sure, he was looking for a brand new contract. He's in a contract year, and I've thrown out some numbers of what he could potentially be looking for because the Raiders said, no, we're not going to trade you, and because the Raiders have made it clear to him, based on what I have been told, that they are not interested in hitting the number that him and his agent were looking for. Now, the number that I threw out there was $17 to $18 million per year. Based on what I'm hearing, Jakobi was looking for a lot more than that. So you know that he was already asked to be traded. You also heard reports from me that Jakobi and parts from his team, also people inside of that Raiders organization, were not happy with the Raiders, how the whole trade thing went down with Jakobi. 2 days later, they go out and they sign Amari Cooper. Amari ends up retiring. So you got a bad football team. The guy already asked for a trade. He's in a contract year, and I really don't think that they're going to end up bringing him back. And then also, look at what the Raiders did in the 2025 NFL Draft. I understand that Jack Besh has not made a big impact this season, that Dante Thornton Jr. have not made a big impact this season. But I do think that actions speak louder than words, and Pete Carroll can say what he wants about this football team, but drafting a receiver in the second round and Jack Besh and drafting a receiver and Dante Thornton in the fourth round and not extending Jakobi Meyers and not really, leaning into what he wants, I think that those actions that the Raiders are making, the words say this, that we're going to let Jakobi go this offseason, and we're going to build with what we got right now with Jack Bech and Dante Thornton Jr. Whether you think that's smart, whether you think it's dumb, that's a whole nother conversation. I want to know from you, trade or keep, what will the Raiders do? This will be the pinned comment on today's program, which means you're going to get hit with a YouTube ad break. While that ad is playing, scroll on down, give me your answer. Trade or keep, what will the Raiders do? My answer coming up right here. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to go, I do think that the Raiders are going to keep Jakobi Meyers. But I'll say this, I think that there is a 51% chance that they keep him. I think that there is a 49% chance that they trade him. And I literally think it just comes down to the offer. If the Raiders get offered a third-round pick or higher for Jakobi Meyers, you can say goodbye. I think he's gone. Now, I know that the Raiders want to keep Jakobi, and I know the Raiders want to keep Jakobi, and this coaching staff wants to keep him for the development of not only Geno Smith, but the development of Chip Kelly in this Raiders offense. If you move on from Jakobi and Brock Bowers isn't 100% healthy, you're not really doing what's best for your offense. You're not doing what's best for your quarterback, and you're not doing what's best for your offensive coordinator, who they paid the OC, Chip Kelly. They paid Geno Smith. They didn't pay Jakobi Meyers, right? Like, your investment this offseason isn't Geno Smith. Your investment this offseason is in Chip Kelly. You got to make sure that that works, and trading away your best receiver, I'm not 100% sure if it does it. The other reason, though, that's very important and why I think that they keep him, because of the new comp rules. If Jakobi hits free agency in 2026 and he signs elsewhere for a big deal, the Raiders could get a fourth-round comp. So why would you trade away a player for, let's say, a fourth-round pick now when you could technically get a fourth-round comp pick? Sure, comp pick compared to a regular fourth is probably like 10, 20 picks in that mix, but would you, A, keep Jakobi, which helps out your quarterback and your offense get it going, or B, you trade him away for a pick that you probably wouldn't have been able to get at the very, very end of the season? Bottom line, I do think that they keep him, but obviously it could go either way. The reason why it could go either way is because the teams that I think that need a receiver, there's a lot of teams that need a receiver right now, and there's a lot of buzz around teams going out and looking for a receiver. I mean, did you watch that Bills game Monday night? They need a guy. The New England Patriots, his connection with Josh McDaniels. The New York Giants, they've been sniffing around. The Commanders and Buccaneers, I'm going to tell you all this right now. I had a source reach out to me this morning and say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the #1 team to trade for Jakobi Meyers. Now, I don't know if that's just because of the injury to Emeka Egbuka, but this is somebody that I trust, and yes, there is a connection with John Spytek, but Tampa Bay is a name to keep in mind for Jakobi. The Los Angeles Rams, the 49ers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only team that I can confirm that has reached out to the Raiders is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but you got to be able to face the facts. Every single NFL team looks at a player like Jakobi and they go, he's a good football player that can help out our roster. And that's every team, and that is the God-honest truth. Coming up next year, though, Schefter also mentioned 32 other players that could potentially be traded. I don't know if the Raiders are going to be buyers or sellers, so the first part of this is us talking about potentially selling Jakobi Meyers. The second part of this video is going to be players that we could potentially buy and go out and look for. Before I break that down, there was some news that happened today, and this is why I want people to watch the Raiders Report. You will become a smarter Raiders fan. It's the best live shows on the internet for Raiders topics. You will know what's going on around this team, and it's 100% for free. So the news that happened earlier today was the Raiders, they signed guard McClendon Curtis to the practice squad, and I don't know how many of y'all remember. I loved McClendon Curtis coming out of college, who was a UDFA, and he ended up then going to the Seattle Seahawks, where he had some success and played there for 2 seasons. So he's got the Raiders connection. I'm a fan of him. Again, only a practice squad move, but I do wonder, in a move like this, could this be something that in a few weeks we see McClendon Curtis make that active roster, and could we even see, again, we're talking about trades. Another player that I've been throwing out there as a potential trade candidate, Dylan Parham. Why? We know this team loves Alex Kappa, and they also like McClendon Curtis. Watch out for Dylan Parham as another trade candidate. We will get into the players that the Raiders could potentially look for in a trade, but before I do, Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, is the sponsor on today's program, and Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Also, new feature on Prize Picks, it's the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. The other part that I love about this time of the year is I think it's the best sports time of the year, whether you want to watch football, whether you want to watch, professional or college, right? Like whether you want to watch the ML, whether you want to watch baseball, whether you want to watch hockey, right? Like it does not matter. This is my favorite time of the year with all the different sports that you can get. Heck, basketball, right? Like I was watching basketball the other day. I mean, the amount of sports, my wife probably hates me because I'm always like, all right, you can watch your show, Alex. I want to go watch, one of these sports games. But I'm putting lineups in. I'm having fun while I'm doing it. And, I got a chance to put a little bit of money in my pocket. So if you want to play the lineup that you're about to see on TV here, shout out to our guy Smitty. He put this lineup together. Steph Curry, half a point. Give me the more on that one. Jimmy Butler, 6 rebounds. Give me the more on that one. And Austin Reeves, less than 20.5 points. If you want to roll with that lineup, we got you covered. If you plan on watching baseball, we got you covered. If you plan on watching football, we got you covered. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, so we talked about Jakobi. Schefter thinks that he could potentially be dealt, but since Schefter threw out 33 players in total in his article, I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you all the players that Schefter thinks could potentially be traded. And, we're going to start with offense. We'll go to defense. I'm not really going to harp on some of these names all that much. I'll kind of pick out maybe some of the ones that Raider Nation should look at. But the first 10 names, it's quarterbacks, it's running backs, and there's a few wide receivers. And, when you look at a lot of these teams that are selling, they're selling because they are not good football teams, right? From the offensive line standpoint, I know there's going to be more people probably looking at that direction. But at the same time, I just don't know if the Raiders really truly feel like they need to upgrade at their O-line. I don't know if Brandon Carroll sits there and he goes, well, this is the offensive line we worked with all offseason. Pete Carroll said absolutely not in terms of putting JPJ to center. I wonder if that's their same mindset of adding somebody to that line. On defense, though, there's some defensive ends, there's some linebackers, a defensive tackle thrown into the mix there. And for me personally, I'm going to look at the secondary. Yeah, we got a lot of holes, no doubt about it. I know that John Spytek likes to say that he values the trenches quite a bit, and you'll see, some of the names up here, and you could probably pinpoint which ones out of these names could the Raiders be interested in. And I'll try to do my best here, and I will rank which guys I think could actually have the most interest for Pete Carroll, John Spytek, Chip Kelly, Patrick Graham, this entire regime, and I have them ranked from 5 all the way down to 1, but still, right? Do we really think the Raiders are going to go out and break the bank? The answer to that's probably no. It's probably going to be a cheap deal. So any player that's going to get traded, it's got to be cheap for the Raiders. So from all of those names, every single name that you just saw up on screen, those were all players that Adam Schefter linked to potentially being traded at the NFL trade deadline. What you're about to see coming up next here are the top 5 players that I think are the most likely for the Raiders to trade for from that group. Before you see it, though, let me know down below who you think the Raiders are the most likely to target. Let's go here to the first name, and it's going to be Tyler Lockett. Now, some of you are probably sitting here going, Mitch, why on God's green earth would the Raiders target Tyler Lockett? The reason why Lockett's going to be brought up here is because if Jakobi Meyers is dealt, I do actually think a receiver that the silver and black could keep an eye on is Lockett. The Tennessee Titans obviously aren't playing well. Raiders just went up against Lockett last week. There were some conversations just between Pete, Lockett, not like, hey, come get me, but there were some conversations. I was told that they were at least communicating about how bad it was in Tennessee. But if you trade away Jakobi Meyers, the Raiders already were looking for a veteran guy in Amari Cooper. So you move on from Jakobi, you bring in a veteran like Tyler Lockett, who's got that connection to Geno Smith and helps maybe to develop 2 of your younger receivers. Again, Tyler Lockett compared to Jakobi Meyers light years better, but Pete Carroll likes Pete Carroll guys. Let's go to linebacker / edge rusher Anfernee Jennings. And I do wonder if one of the teams most likely to make the deal for Jakobi is the New England Patriots. So could you do a trade, where it's kind of like Jennings and a player, Jennings and a draft pick for Jakobi Meyers? If it was Jennings and a player, I'm not as interested in that, if I'm being honest with you. If we're going to make a deal and if we're selling away Jakobi Meyers, I want draft picks. And I want as many draft picks as humanly possible. With that being said, though, Let's talk about Kyle Duggar here. Next up, who's been a safety on the trade market. And I know the Raiders lost Jermaine Pratt, which is why I think Jennings could be somebody to, keep in mind there. From a Kyle Duggar standpoint, I don't know how many times you're just going to watch Isaiah Paul-Amal just get ruined at free safety before you realize, man, we're really pissing away a good player here. And I know Duggar has been a name that's been thrown out there. He's a good athlete. I also know how much we love to use 3 safety sets, and because I have no idea when or if Lonnie Johnson Jr. is coming back at any time, could you potentially look at a Kyle Duggar? Yeah, I know it's been a name that's been thrown out there before. New England doesn't want to eat a lot of that contract, and I know the Raiders don't want to eat a lot of that contract, but the Raiders were sniffing around Kyle Duggar before earlier this offseason. Could they decide to go back to him? Let's go to another DB here, and it's going to be Roger McCreary. And the reason why I'm talking about McCreary is because he's a better nickel corner than anybody that we got on this roster right now. And quite frankly, I actually think he's one of the better players on the Tennessee Titans, which maybe isn't saying a lot, but you could buy low right now on a player who's having a pretty good season. And what this also allows you to do is you could put McCreary in the nickel, put Darien Porter out there on the outside, put Eric Stokes out there on the outside, and Kai Blue Kelly looked good this offseason when he was playing a limited role. Ever since you just threw him into the starting lineup, he just clearly looks in well over his head. The Raiders need more depth in that secondary. Nobody can tell me otherwise. You clearly need depth. And I think Roger McCreary could be a good name for the Silver and Black to keep in mind. Before I go out there and tell you the number one player that I think that the Raiders could trade for based on that ESPN article from Adam Schefter, to early riser, Jeff Garcia, Ron Raspberry, Sucker Free Raider, and then Cruz. You guys were the first 5 people to comment on the video that I did October 14th. And if you're watching this live, I'm going to give another shout out to the Noti Gang here in a little bit. So keep your eyes out for it. Let's go to the number one player that I think that the Raiders could trade for if they do decide to buy at the deadline, based on the report by Adam Schefter. It's going to be cornerback Rick Woolen. And to go into more depth, I'll just say this right now. If you go on YouTube and if you look up Rick Woolen Raiders Report, you're going to see an entire video that I do outlining all of the reasons why the Raiders could and honestly should go out and try to get Woolen. Now, I say that, and I'm also sitting up here this week kind of really hammering that I want to see Darien Porter out there on the field a little bit more. But from a prototypical Pete Carroll standpoint of what a cornerback looks like, Rick Woolen is what that guy looks like. With Eric Stokes on a 1-year deal, there was a part of me with a 26-year-old Woolen. You bring in a Woolen, you let him and Darien Porter learn together, that upside, it's immense. And if we can get the Woolen that Woolen was underneath Pete Carroll, and if we can get Darien Porter to turn into the corner that we're all hoping he can turn into, that is a dynamic young cornerback duo that I think that Pete Carroll and the Raiders team should keep an eye out for. Now, here's something y'all should keep an eye out for. Raiders-Chiefs, it's week 7. And, I'll keep saying it. It's Chiefs week, it's Chiefs week, it's Chiefs week. It simply just matters a little bit more. It means a little bit more. And if you made it this far in the video, I want an FKC down below. All right, y'all. If you want a shout out here on the Raiders Report, give me an FKC down below. We're going to give some shout outs here on the program. And as always, if you want to get your questions, comments up here, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to skip the line. I will also show y'all what our deals are on today's program. What up, program? ED, Jack Cunningham. I see Bay Raider RG. Bay Raider. We're good, right? Bay Raider, we're good. We're good, Bay Raider. What up, Rustin Long, Luda Sigla, Robert Jansen, Wolverine 0808, Mon the Hoops, Kane Michael B. Let's go. I hate how down I already am on this Raiders season. And I hate how down the nation is already on this Raiders season, but I'm always going to look at the glass half full. I think it's what you have to do as a Raiders fan, or else you're just going to drive yourself nuts. There's that part of me where I'm going, I dealt with last season, and, Chuck's going to probably back this up. Dealing with last season, you're actually at a point where you go, there is a legit 0% chance that we have to make the playoffs. There is a legit 0% chance that this team is going to accomplish anything. Until we get to that point, I'm going to have hope. And I want to have hope. I think I'm a happier person when I have hope. I think Raider Nation is a better place. I think the Raiders Report is a better spot when we have hope. And, one thing that I'm really going to try to do this week, and I'm just going to keep doing it until I literally can't do it anymore, I'm going to have hope. And I think for Raider Nation, got to have hope. Hope, hope, hope. That's the word of the day. You got to have hope. Because if you beat Kansas City, I know this. I got hope back. I think y'all have some hope back. And, man, oh, man, do we need some hope right now around the nation. Giuseppe! What's up, Giuseppe? What's up, Giuseppe?
Right now and right now only.
Uh-oh.
Tuna clock jersey raffle deal.
So can you show them the photo of the jerseys that they could potentially win? So we're going to give away a signed Raiders jersey at the very, very end of the month. And the jerseys that you could win, Tim Brown, Max Crosby, Charles Woodson, Ken Stabler, Bo Jackson, Jack Tatum. It's one of those 6 jerseys. So special deal for the next minute 30 here. If you want a ticket, it's $5 super chat. That deal stayed the same. If you want 5 tickets, though, $20 super chat. If you're looking for 20 tickets, $50 super chat. If you're looking for 50 tickets, send me a hundo. If you're like Mitch, what happens if I send you a $100 Venmo? You actually get 100 tickets. Plus, technically for the deal today, you also get a Raiders Report hat. Yeah, also get a Raiders Report hat. So if you want to take advantage of the Tuna Clock jersey raffle deal, you got 56 seconds to do so. Beep. While I am waiting, beep. I am going to look. Kane! Michael! B! Bang! He said, I want 50 new tickets. 50 new tickets.
Husker Raider.
That also means this.
Reminder.
We're one bang away from starting Thursday Night Football off with a boot.
One bang away.
Oh, my goodness. Husker Raider. R.I.P. to the great Tuna. Should we sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? I mean, I'll say this right now. I don't know if I want Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I do and I don't. Like, you could obviously tell that guy is a nightmare to be around. And if you don't know, he was released today by the Baltimore Ravens. If you don't already know.
We'll let the facts roll in.
We'll let the facts roll in. I'm going to check my phone to see where we're at. All I saw was some people getting in the duck race. That is it. Which right now the duck race, $20 Venmo, winner goes home with $60,000. Is it 60,000 pennies? All right, wait a minute. How many pennies? Oh, okay. That's like that can't be right. 6,000. So right now, winner of the duck race goes home with 6,000 pennies. Damn. It's not bad. 6,000 pennies going to you.
A lot. 2
windmills sitting on a hill. One asked the other one, "What's your favorite type of music?" I'm a heavy metal fan. What's funny is I really try not to read the bottom line. I only try to read as I go. That's a good one. That's a good one. What's up, Kane? I need another jersey. Well,
Citizen Kane.
Man, good luck to you. I'll say this right now. I think out of everyone, I think Kane probably has the most raffle tickets now.
Yeah.
I mean, dude just got 50 tickets, so dude just got 50 of them. If you had to pick, though, Kane, who would you want? Max, Tatum, Tim Brown, Woodson, Bo. A lot of good jerseys in there. R.I.P. Tuna. R.I.P. to the great Tuna. Would you guys want the Raiders to sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? Like,
why for yes and for no?
Personally, I think he just goes back to Philadelphia, and the reason why that I say that is he's been liking a lot of Eagles stuff this day today. He's been liking a lot of Eagles stuff. Like, the only way that you're going to play him, like, he wants to play a little bit more, but he also wants to be on a winning team. So, Yeah, if the Raiders came out and beat the Chiefs, I would say this is a potential. If the Raiders lose to Kansas City, I would say we're just wasting our breath. Rebel, I lost my fantasy by doing nothing. I'll take 69. I lost every single one of my fantasy football leagues this past week. I actually didn't think there was any way in hell I'd lose in my family league. Unfortunately, I was up by about 40. I think it was up like 45 points. And I lost because she had Bijan Robinson, who put up like 52 in my family league. And, well,
yeah.
I ended up getting the L
It
ticket.
sucked because I had Drake London last night. And I was like, watching the game, I was like, oh, my God. The halftime touchdown. That F me.
Yeah.
I lost by 7.
That's brutal, dude. That one's freaking brutal, dude.
Add on an extra yard and the tutty. I think I'm there.
Yeah. There you go. Roy. Roy. Can you go back?
Sorry.
Mitch, can we say the Geno and Chip Kelly experiment is over? Chugs, who do you got in the World Series?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Roy, as our MLB expert.
I'll say this. You cannot say that it's over, and you can't say it's over until it's over. I mean, I really legitimately think that we are going to deal with the Geno and Chip Kelly experiment for the rest of the season. And it's because it's what Pete Carroll wants to do. It's because what this organization, wants to do. And I know that, you know that, but I personally do not believe in Geno Smith. I've seen 6 games of him in this Chip Kelly offense, and he's so bad, and I can't believe how bad he is, quite frankly, and they clearly don't trust him. And, I think the other thing that scares me is the lack of accountability that I've seen from Geno and the lack of accountability that I've seen from Chip Kelly. And, when you see the lack of accountability from both of those guys, it doesn't shock me that our offense is as bad as what it is.
I'm going to turn my answer over to Cullen. They asked me, who do I think is going to win the World Series at this point? Cullen, who do we think?
And if you guys want to let us know who you got in Mariners Blue Jays, M for Mariners or type BJ.
It's going to be the Mariners. I hope so, man. This is the best shot they have had not only to make the World Series. I mean, this team's arguably the best team they've had since 2001. Riding with the Mariners. I think they've got a shot. Let's close out against the Blue Jays, fellas.
Can Cullen win 2 chips in a year?
That would be crazy.
Can we get 2 chips for Cullen in a year?
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
And the Mariners.
The Mariners. Seahawks. Maybe. They look good.
Don't go near Sam.
Yeah, holy shit. I mean, let's say this, though, about the Mariners. They are playing really good ball right now. Honestly, I thought the Blue Jays were playing some solid baseball as well. But in this series, I'm rooting for Seattle. I want Seattle to advance, but baseball's a weird game. And what's funny is yesterday, the Mariners, after Julio Rodriguez hit a 3-run homer, I don't think you were here. I think you were filming. And Ortner starts talking about, he's like, dude, I'm going to the World Series. He's like, I'm going to the World Series. And all Cullen does, he walks out, and he's like, let's just get past game 2. Jesus Christ. Like, the way he said it. Because Cullen is the most easygoing guy. He's the nicest guy on the planet. He says yes to everything. And it was like, Ortner's like, let's go to the World Series. And Cullen just,
ladies.
everything. And I've just never heard him. He was just like, let's get past game 2. Jesus Christ. And then the game got tied up 3-3, and I was like, oh, no. They ended up getting the dub, obviously, but wild stuff. Do you like poop or diarrhea? Here's the thing. Like, I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is clearly a better football player than Kai Blue Kelly.
Definitely poop.
Definitely poop. Yeah, I'm with you. But at the exact same time, though, does anybody think that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson lasts on this team, right? Like, he signed with the Baltimore Ravens, and 2 weeks later, him and his agent contacted Baltimore, and they were like, we're just not happy here. I mean, you're seeing a guy who's being traded from team to team, from going to destination to destination, and it's the same. It's same, but different. It kind of reminds me of Deonta Johnson, where everybody knows Deonta Johnson is a good football player, right? Kind of reminds me of Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool is a good football player, But at what point is it shitty human being, shitty situation compared to football player, And if the Raiders were a team that was winning, sure. I mean, if you told me I get the motivated Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I'll take that every day of the week. I don't think that's the guy we're going to get. Let's go to the next one rolling in here. Ox, what's up, dude? Put me in for the jersey. R.I.P. the Great Tuna. R.I.P. the Great Tuna, and you in. Robert Jansen said it in all caps. No divas. And, we talked about this last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and, we were like, hey, there's some friction in that Raiders locker room. Literally, like an hour later, Jermaine Pratt gets released by the Las Vegas Raiders. Jamal Adams confirmed it, actually, in an interview earlier in the week, saying, what was the wording that he said exactly? Let me see if I can get the exact quote here on Jamal Adams. But Jamal Adams, also was kind of like, said that, I can't find it exactly. Along the lines of Jamal Adams was like, players start to doubt coaches in the locker room. Like, in terms of why getting a win is really important. So, like, when you bring Chauncey Gardner into a locker room that's already clearly not doing well, that's why you stay away from the divas. Everyone loves a good BJ, but give me the big dumper. What does that mean?
Remember that story I told you?
Oh, man.
Speaking of that, what's your favorite
I was just going to
dessert?
say, a big dumper is my favorite dessert.
Your favorite fall dessert, let me know.
Today is National Dessert Day, so I figured for our Tuna's Top 5, we will do the top 5 fall desserts. Because I figured all desserts, it's a lot. Spring is in the air. Fall's in the air. Today's also one of my groomsmen's birthdays. Shout out to my guy, Dave Rafe-Schneider. It's also my little cousin, Ellie's birthday. Fall dessert. Fall dessert. What's your favorite? Chugs has got his Tuna's Top 5 coming up here in just a moment. We're going to give some shout-outs here. Kane Michael B. says pumpkin pie. I do love a good pumpkin pie, but there's the times where I'm like, I actually think a good pumpkin roll is better than a good pumpkin pie. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know.
I'm going to definitely ruffle some feathers with one of my answers here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I cheated a little bit, but it's my list, so who gives a shit?
If you make the list, I don't care.
I do see that I did miss. I don't know if tiramisu's a fall dessert, though.
See, tiramisu does not fall in the fall desserts.
I went with strictly stuff that I'm like, fall, this is fall.
Yep.
This is fall.
This is March.
This is March.
Soldier Man, Darth, and Gunny, you guys are in the duck race. 20 to win 9,000 pennies.
I only eat it during the fall, really.
Yep.
But a good caramel apple.
I'll tell you this right now. I actually love this answer because I'm the same with you. Like, I don't think I would ever buy it at a store. But if you told me right now I'm at the state fair or if I'm walking around a pumpkin patch, you give me a good caramel apple.
There's a art festival that happens like 3 or 4 times a year right near us. It's like a neighborhood thing.
Okay.
And there's this one caramel apple food truck that comes. And they do caramel apples with all the different toppings on the outside.
Do you get it just apple caramel, or are you like...
We go apple caramel covered in peanuts.
Okay.
And then they also cut it for you.
Ooh.
So it's like you don't have to like bite into it. It's just like the apple slices.
Huge.
With the dude, fantastic.
Huge. I'm actually glad because that's the apple I get. Caramel, some peanuts, ready to rock and roll, give me on a stick, cut it in half, and we're going to keep it moving. Though, the apple's got to be a red apple.
Oh, no, green apple.
I don't see green. I know you like green. I'm not a green guy.
Give me the green apple. Next up, Snickerdoodle cookies. I feel like Snickerdoodles are purely like fall cookies. Like I'm never in the middle of summer and it's like Snickerdoodle. I feel like sugar cookies more the...
I hear what you're... Like, to me, I resonate. Anything cinnamon is fall to me. So, therefore, I'm okay with the Snickerdoodle. It's not my favorite cookie out there. Like, there's some other things that I probably would have gone with. And I'll see where your, top 5 kind of leads us. But I have an answer to one. And I actually don't even know if it's a dessert, but I'm thinking about it in my head.
And this is where people are going to get pissed off at me. Number 3.
Anything pumpkin.
I love pumpkin. Pumpkin cookies with chocolate chips, pumpkin muffins. Dude, those muffins that we had the other day, the pumpkin cream cheese muffins, a pumpkin roll.
It was like
pumpkin
a
pie.
It was like a pumpkin coffee cake muffin.
Oh, pumpkin spice lattes, anything pumpkin. Number 3 for me.
Okay.
I'm a big pumpkin guy. Number 2, sticky buns / monkey bread.
What's the difference between sticky buns and monkey bread?
So sticky buns are like, they're almost like cinnamon rolls, but it's like covered with like the pecans or pecans.
Is monkey bread just
monkey bread
banana
is like
bread?
No, so monkey bread is basically pieces of bread, like small pieces,
Okay.
in like a loaf pan, and you pull it apart. This is what this is monkey bread.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure.
This is
Raider Nation 80 says coffee cake.
So
Coffee cake's one of my favorite desserts all the
this
time.
is monkey bread, and you like pull the pieces off of it.
Okay. I mean, that looked like a brain. I'm not going to lie. But
Oh yeah, it's so good though.
I would crush it.
And my
Peach
number
cobbler.
1.
Peach cobbler is really good.
Number 1.
Okay. Is apple crisp. Good answer. It's a good answer.
An apple crisp.
With ice cream.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
So the only thing, which, again, I'm not going to say I disagree with anything. Do you think Halloween candy is a dessert? Or is it just its own?
I thought of that, but then you're getting into a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like candy doesn't count as dessert. If I was ever like, after eating dinner, if I was
True.
like, do you want to go get a dessert? And my wife was like, yeah, let's go get some Kit Kat bars.
I'd be pretty pissed.
I'd be like, that's not what I mean at all.
You're like, I'm going to have to go get a new wife. Because the other day, I forget what it was, Alex asked me to go get something in our garage, and I had to, like, reach up. Yeah, I remember it now. I had to get a dustpan out of our closet in the garage, so I had to reach in the back to get the dustpan.
Bread pudding is one that I forgot. Bread pudding's great.
Love a good bread pudding. Hot, like, it's got to be a little warm, little cinnamon on there. I reach over to get the dustpan, and I look down, and there's, like, just an old, it's like a pumpkin, and it's got all this Halloween candy in it. And I was like, ooh, some good Halloween candy. Kit Kat. There was a Kit Kat, a Reese's, and then the Hershey cookies and cream bar. Which one would you pick?
Apple fritter, apple cider donuts. Those are good too.
Ooh, apple cider donuts, very good.
What were the 3 candies? You said a Kit Kat?
Kit Kat, a Reese's, and then the cookies and cream Hershey bar. Those were the 3 that I had to pick from.
I'd probably go Reese's.
I went Reese's 1, and then, well, actually, it was I think it was like the spooky Kit Kat, because when I unpeeled it, it was white.
I see people saying cheesecake. I see Lance says, F it. Who cares?
Ooh, yeah.
Nice. Banana cream pie is good, but red velvet too. Like, I don't know. Those don't scream fall to me.
Say it again.
Red velvet or banana cream pie.
I mean, I'll tell you this right now. I'm never going to turn down a banana cream pie.
Oh, no,
I'm never going to turn down a red velvet cake, but I guess maybe I shouldn't have put the fall thing in here because I agree. I also don't think of those 2 things as fall.
But different people think of, fall with different things.
Absolutely.
Ron says, and you might know what this is, maybe being a East Coast guy, pumpkin Entenmann's donuts.
Entenmann's. So Entenmann's is like, how do I even describe Entenmann's? So my grandfather's favorite place to get tasty cakes from a grocery store, Entenmann's. I believe it's a New York brand, but see, my grandfather used to always get the Entenmann's coffee cake.
He said Little Debbie's, but better.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, they are very good. Entenmann's, my grandparents, they crushed.
Yeah, I think the
crushed.
miss on here for me was bread pudding for sure.
You know what's actually a dessert that I love? Pineapple upside down cake. I just saw Richard Black put it in there. Again, I don't consider that fall. That's more of a summer dessert for me.
Robert saying Stalin bread or Stulin bread. Let's see.
No idea what stolen bread is. Stolen?
Oh, it's a German bread.
Okay.
That looks good.
What kind of bread is it?
It's got nuts and stuff inside of it.
Interesting.
Almonds, dried cherries.
I would eat it.
It almost looks like biscotti.
I mean, I would definitely eat it. My dad says no. Little Debbie is not better.
Jacob goes Stalin bread. LOL.
Oh man! All right,
Bread's
y'all.
communist.
Also, some random NFL news. The former first-round pick Treylon Burks visiting with the Denver Broncos today.
Interesting. Totally out of left field, but I completely agree with you.
Never had one.
Golden Chick yeast rolls.
I've never had Golden Chick.
Golden Chick.
Golden Chick yeast roll fire.
It's good. It's just like a really, really solid dinner roll.
You love dinner rolls though.
Like warm with some butter.
Like I don't get rolls on Thanksgiving. Like I know you're a big roll guy. That's like your favorite thing.
You don't?
No. I just, to me it's a lot of room. Like I'm taking up space.
Oh, Jay says Choco Flan. I actually
Wow,
anybody who's in Dallas.
We got our own top 5 from Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, anybody who's in Dallas, or if you're visiting Dallas. Not a sponsor, but sweetest old lady owns this Cuban restaurant called Bella Flan. Best flan I've ever had in my life. So good.
Segment on the show, and it's around a player that I think if you were to ask 100 Raiders fans about this player, I think all 100 Raider fans would say that guy should be benched. And we're going to talk about who that is here in just a little bit. Though, to Campbell, I see Campbell's. He says, number 1, chocolate pumpkin brownies.
I don't think I've had the pumpkin cookies.
I think I would love it.
I've had like the chocolate chip pumpkin cookies. Those are good. I don't think I've had
monkey bread, snickerdoodle, maple custard, pumpkin mousse cake.
Pumpkin cheesecake.
I mean, I love pumpkin cheesecake. I love pumpkin anything. I mean, that's the fall time for me. I put on weight. And it's just because I love to eat. I love to try different stuff. Like when Alex and I, a few years ago, we went to the Texas State Fair. The amount of deep fried pies that I had, one that I actually don't even remember. It was like some crazy combination that they had. You know, like where they always do those like awards.
Yeah.
It was like inside that building or whatever the hell I'm talking about.
In the food building. It's like all the food.
Yeah, I would say I've only been in there a handful of times, but there was a place where they made this like crazy. It was a banana-based fried pie is how I would say it. It was some peanut butter and it was super good, but I don't remember exactly what they called it. But there's like a spot if you ever go to the Texas State Fair where they have like all these food competitions and you can go in there and try the craziest thing. I mean, it's the craziest food you can imagine.
What did you say? What kind of pies did you have?
I had a pecan, not this year.
Oh.
This was like 2 years ago. Alex and I had a pumpkin, a pecan, and then it was the year that I want to say that corn dogs were like the theme because I remember there was like corn dog beer.
Yeah, with the mustard.
Yeah, they always do themes as well. Whatever year that was, because I don't like corn dogs. So I remember when we got there, everything was corn dog, and I was like, I don't want to try a lot of this stuff.
Corn dogs, Jackie.
Corn dogs. All right, y'all. If you could pick one Raider starter right now to get benched, who would it be? I want to know down below in the comment section. If you could pick one Raider starter to get benched, who would you pick to the 800 people that are tuned in right now watching the Raiders Report? We are also 2 likes away from 400 likes, so if you haven't already, please, please, please make sure you click that like button. But if you could pick one starter to get benched, who would it be? And tell me why. I see Geno Smith from Raider Nation 80, which I'll be honest, that's not the answer that I was looking for. But with the question that I asked, I don't think it's a bad answer to give. I see Geno from Raider Nation 88 and Raider Nation 80. Kai Blue Kelly, Stabler from President. I see Chip Kelly from Justine Gonzalez. Aggressive Master Raider is going to go with Jordan Meredith. Meredith from K Smooth 21. Kai Blue Kelly from Giuseppe. I see now Forsyth from Mario Golfardo. Meredith or Kappa. Kappa's not a starter as it stands. KBK, Kai Blue Kelly from Luda. Meredith from Steven. As y'all can see, Justine, I know. I mean, I don't know if you bench Chip, Justine. Who the heck's going to go in? I hear you, though. Chip Kelly, Jay North is laughing about it. I mean, it made me laugh. Could you imagine we're going to bench Chip Kelly this week?
I'm down.
I just don't know who would call plays. Greg Olson? I mean, he already showed you he wasn't good at that.
Brennan Carroll?
Stop it. If Brennan Carroll started calling plays for the Raiders,
If they fired Chip Kelly and they're like, you know what? We're going to go to Brennan Carroll.
I would not be a healthy person. I don't know what I would do, but it would not be healthy. I promise you that. It would not be healthy. All right, y'all. Let's get in to the segment coming up here on today's program. After this segment, we will get into a duck race, which right now it is a $20 Venmo. You would go home with 9,000 pennies. 9,000 pennies to the winner. We're going to run that duck race after this segment here. So, you guys ready to go? You ready to go? Coming up, let's talk about a player that needs to find his ass on the bench. If you want the Las Vegas Raiders to bench Kai Blue Kelly and start Darien Porter, hit that like button. My name is Mitchell Renz. You're watching the Raiders Report, and my number one message this week to Pete Carroll and to the entire coaching staff, it's time to end the Kai Blue Kelly experiment, and it's time to go with Darien Porter. We were loud and passionate about Brennan Carroll. That offensive line seems like it got fixed a little bit. We've been mad about trying to get the ground game going with Ashton Genty. Seems like they figured that out a little bit. We were mad about special teams. They figured that out a little bit. When we turn up the heat, they've responded. Well, I want to see if you're going to respond to this. It's time to bench Kai Blue Kelly. The first reason why you got to make the move, he has struggled really, really bad this season. And at first, the Kai Blue Kelly story, he was a player that has kind of bounced around the NFL, has been in the league since 2023, has played on multiple teams. But the way that I would explain Kai Blue to somebody who's maybe not a football fan, we'll explain it in terms of baseball here since it's the playoffs. You basically had a 7-hitter that had a good preseason, and instead of keeping him in the 7-hole, you said, you know what we should do with him? We should put him at leadoff. Well, he's not a leadoff hitter, and he's struggling. And because you are asking him to do things that he's not good at, he's just continuously struggling, right? Like, he's played 364 snaps this season and has been one of the worst corners in the National Football League. He has allowed the most receiving yards out of any corner in the entire league. A quarterback rating against him when targeted of 126.6, right? Like, that is astronomically bad. He's also allowing 16.4 yards per reception, and he's playing just clearly too far back. Now, the PFF grades are actually not nearly as bad as what I thought the PFF grades were going to be. They're still clearly not any good, but I know that Pete Carroll wanted Kai Blue Kelly to get it rolling, and that their plan was to play him. But my point is, we've seen 6 weeks, and it's been 6 really, really bad weeks. So let's make a change, and it's time to bench Kai Blue, and it's time to put Darien Porter out there. Let's go to the next reason why I want this to happen. More defensive rotation. If Pete's going to be bullheaded and he's going to go, Mitch, absolutely not. I'm not going to bench Kai Blue Kelly for Darien Porter. Well, how about this then? Can I at least just get some more reps from Darien Porter? Because entering week 6, now this is before the numbers, after that Titans game, I do want to be very clear on that, but entering week 6, the Raiders' sub-package rate was 25.0%. Let me be clear, this is by far the lowest in the NFL, and it's not even close. When you look at what the median, what the average is for sub-package rate, you're looking at actually like around like 60 to 50%. The next closest team to the Raiders is at 38%, and then it jumps all the way up to 50. But the reason why the Raiders aren't doing a lot of sub-package exchanges is because they don't have the depth, and they don't have the talent, and they're not making any adjustments. So my problem is, you're not making any adjustments. Your lack of depth is hurting you. If you want to keep rolling out Kai Blue Kelly, all right, but like, let's get some rotations in there because we're not using enough players in nickel when teams are clearly throwing the football and they're ripping us apart right now. If you want to keep going with Kai Blue Kelly, all I ask is this. Let's get more sub-packages in. Let's give Darien Porter a shot. And if you don't know what sub-package rate is, here it is explained. In the NFL, a team subs package rate is the percentage of defensive plays in which they substitute their standard base defense for a different personnel grouping. A sub-package typically involves replacing a defensive lineman or linebacker with an extra defensive back to improve pass coverage. This shift in defensive strategy is a direct response to modern offenses that prioritize passing. So we've seen the Raiders this season really get bit up and get beat up in the secondary, whether it's been corner, whether it's been their safeties, but it's because they're not making adjustments. They're sitting in cover 3. Teams know exactly what you're going to do, and because teams know exactly what you're going to do with bad talent, they're taking advantage of it. By putting in Darien Porter, by putting Kai Blue Kelly down, it not only helps get you some extra legs, it also helps you get more sub-package, but also it helps you be different. And the Raiders right now on offense and defense need to show that they can make adjustments and be different, because right now teams are just planning for exactly what they're going to do because the Raiders aren't making proper adjustments. Now, if you knew what sub-package rate is, I'm going to tip my cap to you. If you didn't, hit that subscribe button. My number one thing that I always want to do here, and I feel like when I tell people to subscribe, they're like, well, how much does it cost? It's nothing. It's 100% free. Subscribe to the Raiders Report. You're going to become a smarter Raider fan. And if after 1 week, today I'm making this video, if you're not a smarter Raider fan, or if you're like, I didn't learn anything and I didn't have a good time, after 1 week, unsubscribe. You got nothing to lose. You know what, though? There's a reason why we have 206,000 subscribers. We're have a good time. We make fans smarter. Hit that sub button. Let's go to the next reason here of why it's time to bench Kai Blue Kelly for Darien Porter. Porter, when given opportunities, has been solid. And I think that this is one of the most confusing things that the Raiders have done this season where, Darien Porter did pretty solid in the offseason, struggled in the preseason, no doubt about it. And then the Raiders, who've preached compete this entire offseason, said, all right, well, we're going to bench Darien Porter. We're going to put in Kai Blue Kelly because Porter was struggling in the preseason, and then Kai Blue Kelly was playing better. I guess my question is, why doesn't Darien Porter and Kai Blue Kelly get that exact same treatment in the regular season? Like, why are we only competing in the preseason and we're not competing in the regular season? Because in 99 snaps this year, Porter has done a pretty good job. 69.2 overall grade. He's done good against the run. He's done good in coverage. He's shown up in special teams. He played in only 2 special teams snaps last week, but when targeted this season, 4 targets, 2 catches, 19 yards allowed, and 0 touchdowns allowed. I don't understand what the Raiders are doing, and that's kind of what the biggest confusion is at times, because you're sitting here going, well, if we're in a rebuild, shouldn't we play the players that we drafted? I think yes, but then also at the same time, I get you wanted to try out Kai Blue Kelly. Kai Blue Kelly's been a disaster for 6 weeks, and the guy you drafted in the 3rd round, Darien Porter, he's been good in limited snaps. Wouldn't you want to get that guy a little bit more work instead of just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and again and expecting a different result? That's the really, really frustrating part when you discuss the Raiders and you discuss their entire cornerback room from top to bottom. Coming up next here, though, I got more reasons why the Raiders should start Darien Porter over Kai Blue Kelly. And what's sad is this show doesn't even need multiple reasons. This show takes eyeballs. It takes 2 of them. Hell, it takes 1 eyeball. I think if you've watched any game this season by the Raiders, if you followed this team at all this season, what I'm asking right now is I think asking to start Darien Porter over Kai Blue Kelly is the exact same argument of you should put JPJ in center over Jordan Meredith. Why? Because it's just smarter and we're not overcomplicating the simple. It's not rocket science. It's just putting your players at the best spots for them to succeed. It's what good coaches do. It's what good teams do. It's why a lot of Raider fans feel like we know these players better than these coaches. We will get into that here in just a moment, but before I do, Prize Picks, my favorite time of the year, whether it's football, baseball, basketball. We got so much sports going on right now, and I flippin' love it. You know what else I love? Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. Join millions of users and sign up today. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the PrizePicks app. Use code CLNS. I'm going to say it again just in case Ron Raspberry wasn't paying attention. CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. And if you want to roll with a lineup, now this is a lineup, friendly reminder, I'm recording this on Wednesday, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how this one ends up going down. And when you see Austin Reeves, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, the reason why I wanted to show you this is because of the deal. PrizePicks always offers deals. Steph Curry's going to get more than a point. And when I see something like that, I try to go and get that lineup in. So you can win up to a lot of money. And one of the new features that PrizePicks has is, you can follow other PrizePicks players directly. So that lineup is from our basketball guy, Tyler Smith. So if you wanted to follow him, you could do it. If you wanted to follow Jeremy Chuggs, you could do it. If you wanted to follow me on PrizePicks, you could do it. Hit that follow button. Check out every lineup that I create, Chuggs creates, or any of the Chat Sports guys create with the new feed tab on PrizePicks. That link is going to be available all down in the comments, down in the description of today's program. Let's go to the next reason here of why the Raiders should bench Kai Blue for Darien Porter. You freaking drafted him in the 2025 NFL Draft. You knew that corner was one of your team's biggest needs. It was. It still is, right? Like, you knew going into the year that we're not going to address corner in free agency. You signed Eric Stokes, and instead, what you've decided to do was you decided to draft someone in the third round in Darien Porter at number 68 overall. But also, the number one knock on him was he's clearly athletic. He just needs more time at corner. He played only 1 year at corner in college. Wouldn't it make sense in a year that we are 2-4 that the corner that's playing above him has been one of the worst corners in the NFL? Wouldn't it make sense to give that guy who's got 1 year of cornerback experience a little bit more time? Like, I don't even think it's that crazy of an idea. Like, to me, the way that the Raiders are treating Darien Porter are as if, like, he's not a part of the regime. Do you guys not realize you drafted him and he's just sitting on the bench? I do not understand the game plan of what they are doing with Darien Porter. Again, Kai Blue Kelly's been terrible. Darien Porter's been good. You drafted him. What the flip are we doing here? The final reason why it's got to happen, it's Chiefs week. And give me an FKC down below, and anytime I talk about the Chiefs this week, I want y'all to just start randomly spamming FKC because it does. It means something a little bit different. And if you want to shout out on this program, give me an FKC down below. Hell, I'm going to challenge y'all. Who could spam FKC the most? Because I know this. The people that are part of our Noti gang, the people that always show up here, I guarantee you they're spamming FKC. I guarantee you, Kenny, the NXEL, Eddie123, and Michael Bradley. I guarantee you, y'all are spamming FKC. Why? It's what real ones do. It's what the Noti gang does. And if you want to get a shout out on a future show, if I ask you to do something and you do it, you at least got a chance. Let's go here again to why the Raiders should start Porter, though, and why it's important to do it in Chiefs week. You're 2-4. It's time to create some magic. It's time to get a little bit of mojo going into that bye week. And you already know that the Chiefs, they're going to throw you a curveball. You know the curveball's coming. His name is Rashee Rice. Some of y'all might say he's probably a fastball because how fast he was going on 75. But, you're getting a curveball. You're getting something that you can watch all the tape you want on Kansas City this week. The one thing that you're not going to see on tape is how this year's offense looks with Rashee Rice. Well, guess what? I want to do the exact same damn thing to Kansas City because if you allow Andy Reid and this team to scheme for the way that the Raiders are playing this year, which has been very here's our defense, cover 3. We're not going to do a lot of sub packages. We're just going to do exactly the thing. Andy Reid is going to scheme for that, and he's going to eat you alive. What I want the Raiders to do is they go, all right, this is the biggest game of the year. If you win and you go to 3-4, you got all the momentum on your side. You lose your 2-5 going into that bye week, you instantly become sellers, and you're going to lose a lot of people from Raider Nation. So if they're gonna throw a curveball at you, I kind of want to counteract and throw a curveball at them and go, all right, well, you're not going to be able to get a lot of tape on what Darien Porter looks like with this starting secondary, so let's put him out there in the starting secondary. What do we have to lose? The football game? I'm okay with that. I think we're probably going to lose anyway if we keep Kai Blue Kelly out there. So to me, mixing it up against Andy Reid, smart for this defense, smart for Pete Carroll, smart for Patrick Graham, and I think it's a better chance for us to end up getting that dub because I saw what it took to beat Patrick Mahomes on Thanksgiving. I saw what it took to beat Patrick Mahomes on Christmas. It took a team that brought the house. It took a team not afraid to make mistakes. It took a team willing to be aggressive because if you don't think that you got to play aggressive football to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, wake the hell up, right? You're going to have to do some stuff that's going to be a little bit different. You need your A game. They need their C game, and that still might not be good enough to beat them. Darien Porter is more of a risk taker. Darien Porter, to me, is higher upside than Kai Blue Kelly. Against the Chiefs, I want high upside. I didn't think Jack Jones was a good player, but Jack Jones made a huge pick-six play, which is the biggest reason why we beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas. I think Darien Porter's got a better shot to do that than Kai Blue Kelly because Kai Blue Kelly hasn't shown me anything this season. And for that reason, it is time for the Raiders to bench Kai Blue Kelly and start Darien Porter.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. And again, I don't think anybody disagrees with anything that I said there. I really, truly do not. Why? Because I don't even think it's that crazy of a thing to ask. I think the fact that the Raiders are starting Kai Blue over Darien Porter is the definition of idiotic. Speaking of, I don't even know how I'm going to transition to it. Who you got, Brewers or Dodgers? Type B for the Brew Crew. Type D for the Doyers. There's a game tonight. I don't remember what time this game starts. I am, though, super, super excited about this series. This series, to me, is probably the one that I care the most about. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I am rooting for the Brewers because my buddy, he was drafted by the Brewers, watches the show, and, I just root for the Brew Crew. Plus, Brewers haven't won. The Dodgers have. I'll also say this, though. If the Dodgers end up making the World Series, there is a chance that I go live for every single Dodgers World Series game. Now, it would be here on the Raiders Report and it would be live on Maine, but I know it's something that you guys have asked me to do. We've got a few OGs that are Dodgers fans. It's something that, again, if the Raiders are bad, it's something that I want to do. Right? I like making live content that people have a good time watching, and I can't guarantee you that, the Raiders are going to be good every single time that we go live for them. So let me know down below who you got. B for Brewers, D for Dodgers, and I'm seeing right now lots and lots of Ds. Stabler for president. What's up, man?
Just like high school.
Should we bring in Brian Callahan as offensive line coach? I mean, I'll say this right now. I think Brian Callahan is a really good offensive line coach. It's how he got his job with the Tennessee Titans.
Probably want his dad.
Well, his dad was the offensive line coach in Tennessee, but Callahan was also an O-line coach.
He was?
Yeah, I
was going to say his dad quit.
But his dad quit, with the Titans. I mean, here's the thing, though. You already have somebody on your team that showed last year to do a good job in Joe Philbin. I do think Brian Callahan's an interesting name, no doubt about it, because he got the head coaching job for a reason. But, it's not going to happen. The Raiders at this point are not going to fire Brennan Carroll, and they're not going to bring in somebody new when they already have Joe Philbin on the roster. But I like your thought process. What up, Can't Control Life? FKC. New photo. Interesting. Senators.
Taking it to a how?
I didn't take you as the Senators guy. I'm not going to lie.
Level.
To Raider Rick. To all of the nation. I just want all of y'all to know we have a duck race left to do. If you want to get in, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Right now, the winner would go home with, 1,200 pennies.
Latest B-Dubs commercial is great. Appreciate it, Raider Rick.
Is it?
Well, he always says I sound like the Buffalo from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Understood. To Brian Baca, Simon, and Justine, you are in. You in. As soon as this duck race is done, we will end up hopping on out of here for today.
I'll probably just walk.
We'll probably end up walking on out of here. I do want to bring this up, though. We are one alley-oop away or one bang away from me starting Thursday Night Football off with a boot. It's the deal that I'm going to do every Tuesday, and it's simple. It's if we get 3 bangs or if we get 3 alley-oops, I'm going to start off Thursday Night Football with a boot. Why? Thursday Night Football is happy hour. Thursday Night Football is about letting our hair down. Thursday Night Football is about having a little bit of a crazy and wild time. What's up, Robert Jansen? Bring in an AI coach robot from Roger. See, I don't want AI because, again, AI is going to think that it's always right. I want a coaching staff that proves to me that they can make adjustments. I want a coaching staff that learns from its players, that learns from, honestly, themselves. And I think right now a really, really big problem. Obviously, I'm not in that locker room, but just based on what players are saying, based on things that I've been told, and based on the way that coaches present themselves at the media, I mean, I see just a very stubborn coaching staff. I don't think that that's a crazy thing to say at all. Ron, what's up, Ron? Jack Cunningham. Mahomes will eat him up, and we will get killed if Kai Blue Kelly starts. 41-21, effing sad. Yeah, I mean, I hope that the Raiders hang tough. And I know Kansas City looked really, really good against Detroit, but also at the same time, the Raiders have a better defense than the Lions do right now. And I only say that because the amount of injuries that the Lions have on that defense, I think it's one of the biggest reasons why Kansas City went up and down the field as often as they did. For the Raiders, though, you got to learn from that game because Detroit didn't make any adjustments. And Detroit was really thin in that secondary. The Raiders are really thin in that secondary. And, you know, if I'm Kansas City, I'm looking at exactly what I did to Detroit, and I'm trying to do the exact same thing to the Raiders. I mean, it's the blueprint right now against Las Vegas. Good coaches are kicking the shit out of the Raiders. Why? Because the Raiders are telling you exactly what they're doing on tape, and they're not changing it up. This is what they do on offense. This is what they do on defense. And teams that have good coaches are kicking the shit out of us. It's the truth. I mean, it's the truth, whether you like it or not. Civ said trade Crosby for 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. It's an interesting question. Would you do it? Would you trade Max straight up for Purdy? I'll say this, and we kept saying it. It's not that I don't think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. I think what you're seeing is how special Shanahan is as a play caller. That even an injured Mac Jones can go in there, and with all the injuries that the 49ers have, they can still look pretty good. I want the Raiders to have a new quarterback, but I do think Brock Purdy is one of the more overrated QBs in the NFL. I do. Like, if we're going to trade Max Crosby for a quarterback, I want it to be a surefire franchise guy. And I just don't know if Brock Purdy's that guy.
Yeah.
Like, a very good quarterback. He is a very good quarterback.
Like, what's the level of it? Like, Jordan Love.
Like, to me, in my mind, if Geno Smith can play and look the way that Geno Smith is playing right now, Brock Purdy can look the exact same. Like, if you want to talk about numbers and tape, Geno Smith's tape is better than what Brock Purdy's has been. And yet, here we are with Geno Smith.
Like, name the quarterbacks that you would trade Crosby for.
Oh, boy. I would like it to be a young guy.
I mean, we can get the obvious out the way.
Sure, I don't even really want to. I'm trying to think of who's the quarterback where it's like, all right, that separates it. Because right now, if you look at all the teams that drafted a quarterback in 2024, for all y'all that want the Raiders to draft a QB, every single team that drafted a quarterback in the first round of the 2024 NFL draft, every team is above 500. Every single team. I would consider trading Crosby for Cam Ward if Cam Ward was involved, because in my opinion, Cam Ward is a franchise quarterback. People hated me when I said I like Drake May a lot. Drake May right now looks like one of the best young franchise quarterbacks. It's just sometimes, you got to be able to roll with the punches a little bit. I do wonder what Cam Ward would look like on this team. Somebody said Lamar. You can get more from Can't Control Life. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think if you offered Tennessee Max Crosby straight up for Cam Ward, they'd laugh in your face. And it's not because they don't value Crosby. It's because that's their franchise quarterback, in their opinion. I mean, Josh Allen's never going to happen. Lamar, never going to happen. Burrow, never going to happen.
Would you trade him straight up for Baker right now?
Yes.
You trade Max Crosby for Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield is, without a doubt, a top 10 quarterback right now. I mean, you can make an argument he's the front runner to win MVP. You could make an argument.
That was Sam Darnold last year. Would you trade Max Crosby for Sam Darnold? Darnold was better than Baker last year.
I mean, I'll tell you got to give Darnold credit. He looks really flipping good right now. Man, that's tough. I'm probably going to go no, but I also haven't watched too much of Sam Darnold. I really, truly haven't. But that's a tough one.
C.J. Stroud. He's 23, just turned 24.
I know, but the problem with Stroud is right now he's got a little bit of that, like, I don't know. I mean, he was kind of weird, I thought, at the Super Bowl. Just he was a little big-timey is the right word. But at the same time, like, it's his issue just because that offensive line is atrocious. I would entertain the idea. Again, if I'm going to trade Max, I want to be able to sit down and watch every single ounce of tape on those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Sir Yin, I would not trade Crosby for Brock Purdy.
I'm good for today. Thank you, Moosey.
What's up, Moose? I'm good.
If you need some of those throat lozenges, they're on my desk. Yeah.
Yep, we're live right now. We're live right now.
Go Broncos!
While wearing a Bear shirt. Okay.
Yeah, it's for titties.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, somebody said, what about Daniel Jones? No, I will not do that. All right, y'all. Final chance for you to get in our little duck race, or as Noah Santana called it earlier, if you want to get in our dick race, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. I got a few extra people that are getting it in. Richard Engel, Rustin Long, Anthony Green, Jerry Kester, and then the Night Devil. As it stands, right now, it's a $20 Venmo. You would go home with $180 here on tonight's program. $20 Venmo, you go home with $180. Go Bulldogs. Well, he's got a freaking Bears shirt on. Bears shirt on, go Broncos,
Rebel
hosting Falcons.
Marsh will take Jakobi for a
right?
third.
What'd you say?
Rebel said Marsh will take Jakobi for a third. I don't think he would.
No.
We were just saying which quarterbacks he would trade Crosby for, and he said Baker's one of them.
Also, the Mavericks extension with Jason Kidd.
Wow.
Probably. Good. I mean, I'm actually surprised and not surprised, I guess, at the same time. No on Kyler Murray. Yeah, I'm probably still a no on Kyler Murray. Can't control life. Still no Venmo in Canada.
Right.
I know.
Here we go.
Well, let me last check. Can you add HN to Hoon? And then I need another one for Soldier Man. So winner's going to go home with $200. $200 to the winner. This is Italian brain rot. 3, 2, 1.
Tung, sahur.
Darth Fat out to the early lead. Watch out for Fabian. A lot of Fabians in here. Justine Gonzalez. Jesus, Rustin Long, relax. Soldier woman. I was like, what does that say? Noah Santana actually looks just like him. Just like him.
Hoon Daddy.
Hoon Daddy. Simon T.G. Husker Raiders all up in Fabian's watermelon. Jerry Kester looks like me after a few beers right now. Brian Baca. What is the Night Devil? Is that a hippopotamus cactus? You see it, dude, I'll tell you what, they're everywhere in the zoo here in Dallas. Jerry Kester, it's actually exactly how I picture. When I say I'm going to hop on out of here, it's how I do it. The Jerry Kester shake right there. Fabian's got the lead. Husker Raiders moving up. Who's this? Soldier Woman! I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to get rid of your feet and just go on the tire? Apparently not. Husker Raiders devastated. Devastated. Soldier in that O. Soldier, can you please confirm that you just received $200?
How? Not the left.
$200. Soldier Man. Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you. Or should I say Soldier Woman? Soldier Woman. Rebel, did I win last? I don't know who won last. Who got last place? Reb, if you want the last place.
Brian Baca.
Brian Baca. Congrats. The big winner. All right, y'all. The next time you're going to see me on this program, I'm going to be live Thursday Night Football Who's the game this week? Steelers.
It's Steelers Bengals. That's why I said old people, because it's Flacco and Rodgers. They're both 40.
All right, we'll get some old man deals. I'll talk to Nav Man. We'll get some old man deals.
Navman, let us know what old people like.
Yeah.
Prune juice.
Prune juice.
Hard candies.
Could get some hard candies. What are things that old people like that we can add to our show on Thursday night? Speaking of our show on Thursday night, again, we are getting ready to get on out of here. We are one bang away from starting Thursday night off with a boot.
Can't Control Life says bingo.
If we did like, I don't even know how we would do it. Raiders report bingo? No idea. I can look into it. I'll figure it out. Ron said, I'm 42 and apparently just got called old. What? What happened?
Nothing.
Bourbon from Bay Raider.
Nothing.
I might be able to do some bourbon. Instead of doing like Fireball tequila, I could go take some of the bourbon from our boss's room. We could do a little 2 o'clock shots.
How about we do a deal where it's like every whatever super chat, it's a sip of bourbon and basically old man wisdom.
Instead of dad jokes, some old man wisdom.
It's like you take a sip and you're like, you always need to make sure you keep your flat or your extra tire in the back pumped twice a year.
Richie's would be make sure you got more than 100 pounds in your car when it snows.
Shit like that.
I kind of love it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Bottom line is, y'all, hope you're here for Thursday Night Football. Appreciate Kane Michael B. Major shout out to Yoda and the Night Devil. Had a lot of fun. That's Jeremy Chuggs. I'm Mitchell Renz. This is the Raiders Report. We'll see you guys Thursday Night Football. We're going to be going live 1 hour before kickoff.